Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how credit scores are figured. Just finished doing a training with some people here in my office. And I just was like, hey, why don't I just throw this also on YouTube? Because I think that it'll be some good value for you to kind of have a refresher about how scores are figured. And as we can see here, I like to call this excellent credit basics, because this is like the foundation. We want to build a good foundation, so no matter where you go, I want to utilize my credit. I want to be able to get something that you want to get of value that's going to bring value to you and your family, like an automobile. Or if you're trying to build wealth, you're trying to, buy a home or buy real estate, you're going to be able to be in the right position. It's all about having that foundation. So let's go through what I would consider like the most important secret that's right out there in front of everybody. Like, you can go on Google, you can go on YouTube. There's been many videos made on it, but people don't focus on it enough. And I always like to talk to people that I'm coaching, or you here on YouTube, about credit. Number one, about credit repair, but how scores are figured. What is the credit algorithm for figuring out the credit score? Like, because you can be doing certain things the right way, and then you're doing other things the wrong way, and you're like, why can't my scores go up? I see my friends' scores go up. I see, other people's scores go up. What's going on with me? And it's because you could potentially be making mistakes in what I'm about to show you right here. So first thing, and forgive my writing there, that's what I was kind of going over with the class here. This is the way that credit is figured. This is important. This is foundation. So let's just put it out there. This is the foundation. This is very important. So the first thing is that the types of credit used, it counts as 10% of your overall scores. That's a pretty good amount. The next one is the new type of credit that counts as 10%. What new types of credit? It could be a credit card, auto, payday, any type of credit, any type of account that's going to be considered new credit. And then the types of credit used, I'll back up here, types of credit used. This, with a credit card, let me get my color one here. Types of credit, this one here could play two ways for you. Over time, these would add up auto loan, but types of credit cards, you'll see that when you have a revolving line of credit added, it can make your scores go up unless you overuse that account. You can see that 10% weight goes a little bit higher when it's the type of account as a credit card. New accounts, 10%, paying attention to how many new accounts that you're adding on your credit reports. The next one is length of credit history. You'll see that on some of the applications, if you've ever been denied, it'll have a statement on there saying that you haven't had credit long enough. You look like you're just starting. You need to have more type of accounts placed on there. You need to go a little bit longer, with your payments, and then it'll, you could get approved with working with us. So that's a 15% right there. And a lot of people are like, well, how do I get, if I can't get new accounts, how do I get to this box right here with the 15% account? We won't go into that in this video, but I'm pretty sure that most of you probably have an automobile, credit cards, and not payday loans. I hope you don't have the payday loans, but you mostly have credit card and automobile loans and maybe a mortgage. So, but I'm gonna show you how this here works with another section here. The next one is total amount of debt. They do pay attention to how much debt you have. So be very careful with overextending yourself. So you might be saying, well, how do they know based off of how do they know my income? So they, and how can that even get figured if they don't know my income into my overall credit score? It's because it's on your applications. Think about it. All of the different applications that you filled out, what did you have to put? You had to put your income on there, and then even more detailed income. If you own a house, you know that you have to turn in IRS documents, and they actually order a document. I forget what they call it, and they get that transmitted over to them, so they know exactly what you had put on your credit. I'm sorry, on your for your taxes as your income. So they'll get your information, but they'll also order those from the IRS. You have to sign to get those. So that what they'll do is they'll figure, hey, you make $75,000 a year, but based off of what you would have to pay in taxes, based off of your total debt that you're carrying, you're living paycheck to paycheck, and that's going to count 30% against you. So you could be making all of your payments, not missing any payments. You're trying to control the new accounts that you're getting, and you could still have a lower credit score just based off of your debt to income ratio. The next one is payment history, which is very important. I've seen some videos out there lately talking about late payments and stuff like that. Doesn't matter. Just think about it this way. If you were to come to me, say, hey, this is Steve, I want to borrow money from you. And wouldn't you look at my payment history? If I've borrowed money from you before, wouldn't you kind of take into account how I paid you back? So these companies, if you think about it, the whole bottom line of all of this, the whole bottom line of the credit system, the whole bottom line of the lending system, all of that, it comes down to getting the money paid back so they can make profits. So that's why it's 35% of the whole equation of the algorithm for figuring credit score. Payment history is 35% of everything. So if you take care of this, you take care of this. If you take care of this, you basically that's 30, that's 40, 50%. If you take care of this, you take care of this. If you keep your payment, your utilization down if you're using credit cards, stay away from payday loans. You keep that down, you're going to be helping yourself another 30%. So if you really keep yourself good in these spots, pay attention to what you're going out there trying to get approved for in this spot, and understand that when you go to get something over here, you need to over here, that you need to pay attention that it's going to drop you, it's going to affect your scores, and that you got to make sure that you're making an educated decision on what you're doing. So I just wanted to make this video here. For some reason, we sometimes try to look for different secrets that are out there, but this is the secret. This is the foundation. This is how the algorithm is written. If you just get your credit reports and evaluate what you've been doing. Have you been getting new accounts? How long, what's the longest period of time that you've paid any creditor that's on there? Maybe it's your mortgage, maybe it's your automobile, maybe it's one of your credit cards that you've had for years. Your total debt. Sit down and just be honest with yourself and say, how much money are we making and taking home? Look at your paycheck and say, okay, this is the average of what we're taking home. Let's add up all of the payments that we got on stuff. When someone is looking at us, what are they looking at with our debt to income ratio? Does that hurt us? If it does hurt you, then you need to start putting plans together to fix that. The next thing is your payment history. Have you been making your payments on time? Have you messed up a few times? Well, if you have, you know that that's working against you, and you know that it's going to take you some time to work out of that unless you can get the creditor to reverse that. Or if it's a closed account, maybe you go ahead and say, hey, I want to go ahead and get the entire account removed, but you need to understand that when you get the entire account removed, it's going to affect you right here, because that was an account that probably had good history and also some bad history. So you got to pay attention to that. Some of the times people will wipe off, where they had an account that just, it went bad, but they were able to resolve it with a settlement. And they're like, well, I want to get that removed off of there. And I tell them, hey, it's okay to get it removed, but I want you to understand what you're going to be doing. Because if you think about it this way, and if this is going to be a huge part of how they figure, let's just say that you were paying on that account and you were paying good and you just had one hiccup when it went bad right here. You ended up doing a settlement on the account. It's going to still have all of the good history marks on there. So even when you do the settlement, when you do the settlement, it's gonna help your scores go up because it's resolved. It won't be a collection. But if you ask to have that removed, they're not going to just take away this here. They're not gonna just say, okay, we'll make the months that you messed up, we'll take those months away and then we'll just keep the good months. No, they're gonna remove all of it. They're gonna take all of it off. They're going to take all of that off, and then you're going to see that your scores could take a dip just from that. But the good thing about it is that if you have other stuff that you're paying on, you will see that your scores can go back up. Basically, the reason why I said that is because sometimes people get upset when they have when their scores go down, when they're in the credit repair process, and their scores go down when stuff is getting removed. They're wondering, hey, shouldn't it be the reverse? Stuff is getting removed, my score should go up. The reason why it doesn't always go that way is because of that example that I just showed you there. So come on, let's pay close attention. Let's get down to the basics so we can start learning more things and start moving ourselves up. But let's get that foundation like tight, sealed, tight, strong, so we know that the moves that we're making based off of what I just showed you right here will affect you for a lifetime if you're making the wrong decisions. Thank you for your time. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process and my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit portion scores, go to the website your3scores.com. Grab those TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. It'll have all of the information on there. Also, you'll be able to utilize that to kind of judge what you're doing right now with your credit. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations letter to stop debt collectors who are coming after you for debt that's past the legal statute of limitations to collect. Cease and desist collection activities letter for debt collectors that are coming after you for debts that are not past the legal statute of limitations, but you want to challenge them, make them think twice about coming after you, and my debt validation letter to go back and forth with them if they try to say, hey, we believe we had information to come after you for the debt. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and